What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Fireside Giants. I'm your host, Anthony Rivardo, joined by my co host, Alex Wilson. And today we wanted to talk about Jaxson Dart. He's a prospect that a lot of you have asked us to discuss. We've had some preliminary conversations about him, but in yesterday's episode, we did a mock draft where the New York Giants went with Travis Hunter, number 3 overall, and then we talked about maybe trading up into the back end of the first round or taking Jaxson Dart with the second round pick. So we wanted to take a look at him a little bit further today. A lot of you asked for us to do some film breakdowns on the channel about these draft prospects. Many of you wanted to see us do them live. And that's exactly what we're going to do in today's episode. Take a look at Jaxson Dart, his game film, all 22 from Oklahoma. We've got the hookup, and we're going to go ahead and dive into it and do a live film breakdown. So make sure you guys follow along with us. Leave your comments in the chat as we go along here. Ask your questions. Tell us there's something on a certain play that you want us to highlight, and all that fun stuff will make this as interactive as possible. But before we dive into it all, Alex, how are you doing today, my friend? What are your thoughts on Jaxson Dart, just as we prepare to really sink our teeth here into his game film?
I'm doing pretty good, man. I'm excited to finally transition to the draft content everyone's super excited about. Now, I want to preface this by saying we're going to live react. We haven't seen this film yet. We are going to live react along with you guys. If you guys want us to stop, rewind, and look at things, we're going to do that. And just to get a very objective perspective on Jaxson Dart as a player, we chose a game that he was a little up and down. He had a touchdown. I think he had an interception in this game. Like he had a little bit of inconsistency at times. And that's kind of what we want. We want to see the bad. We want to see the good. We don't only want to see, at first we were like, maybe we'll do the Arkansas game where he had like 5 touchdown passes and 500 yards. Like, well, that'll make him look like the best prospect ever. We want to look at something a little bit more objective for you guys. And I think we're going to be doing a lot of these live film sessions and really just reaction-based stuff as we get closer to the draft. I think we're 100 days away, Anthony, but I'm excited to kind of look at so many prospects. I mean, Jaxson Dart, he's hot right now. So as things kind of materialize as the offseason, progresses here, a lot of players are going to become focal points for the Giants. Abdul Carter is a guy that is getting a lot of attention. Jaxson Dart, obviously Shadur Sanders. I'll look at all these guys. I love, maybe not Sanders, but I love his wide receiver, LeJontay Wester. Egbuka from Ohio State. Love Egbuka. I think he's a really, really cool prospect. So, and then Trey Harris, another guy, Anthony, you love him. So many players to kind of dive into here. And Jaxson Dart, of course, quarterback, Giants need a quarterback. I see some people saying they want Justin Fields and Jaxson Dart as the quarterback room next year. I mean, Anthony, I'm down for that. I think you have, a guy that can win you some games in Justin Fields, maybe a reclamation project. And then you have Jaxson Dart, who's got some really legitimate upside. Obviously, before we get this started, I just want to list off his stats because I think it is important to kind of highlight what he did this past season, where we like him. And, Anthony and I are texting back and forth all the time about players. And Jaxson Dart finished last year with a 69.2% completion rate, 4,276 yards, beat Eli Manning's record at Ole Miss in yardage, 29 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions. He had a 2.8% turnover-worthy play percentage, according to PFF, which is a little bit high, but that sometimes can indicate he's more of a gunslinger and wants to take some risks. Cam Ward's also a little bit up there too, not that high, but I think Dart really wants to make plays, and he's in an offense from at Ole Miss. They are throwing the ball a freaking ton. So there is a lot of film. The original one that we wanted to look at was the LSU game because he was a little inconsistent in that one, but he had 51 dropbacks and 42 passing attempts. Against Oklahoma, the one we're going to look at, he had 30 passing attempts in that game. So, this is a guy that he's asked to do a lot of heavy lifting at the quarterback position, and he's one of the most attractive passers when it comes to passing depth, 20-plus yards downfield. Last year, he had a 92.6 grade, according to PFF. Take that at what you will. But he had 1,517 yards, a 42% completion rate, which is pretty damn good. 20-plus yards downfield, 17 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions. So for an offense like Brian Daboll, who really likes to get the ball downfield, he is going to love a guy like this for the most part. It fits the system that he wanted to build. When they drafted Jalen Hyatt, they wanted to be downfield. They wanted to be explosive, and it hasn't been that way. So you get a guy like Dart who can really kind of help materialize that downfield centric offense. You build your offensive line. You have a really cheap player in Dart long term if he ends up getting that kind of starting job long term. But Anthony, I know I just talked a little bit. Wanted to preface this by detailing Jaxson Dart's kind of characters and what we're looking for in this film, in this reaction based episode. But get your take on kind of where you see Jaxson Dart, what you think his strengths are before we look at some of the film.
I mean, I really don't want to waste more time. I want to get right into the film, but Mike G did leave us a super chat, so we'll get to that and then dive into the film. Mike G, thank you so much. He said, big fan of the channel. Thank you both. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you to everybody tuning in. We've already got 100 plus people in here. It's only been 5 minutes, so we're always mad appreciative for the Fireside Giants community. Mike G says he's got a friend who made a good point. Fields and a rookie isn't the best based on lack of true success and experience from Fields for a rookie to learn from. Thoughts? I think that you could make that argument. He's not a 10-year NFL veteran who's been around multiple coaches and, has had a lot of success at the top. However, with Fields, he is still a young guy. And I think sometimes for rookies, it's easier for them to relate to a Justin Fields than it is a Russell Wilson. We've actually read a lot of reports about Russell Wilson in particular being a guy that people do struggle to relate to in NFL locker rooms. That's one of the reasons why he ended up leaving Seattle. Relationships went south there. Same thing in Denver. He's a guy that doesn't seem to be as well liked by the younger generation, according to recent reports from his prior teams. So if you take that into account, and then you also take into consideration the fact that Fields has a track record of being a captain at Ohio State, Chicago, and also a true leader with the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's younger, he's more relatable, and he has had some success, and he's had a shit ton of adversity. If there's one thing Justin Fields has faced, it's adversity, always climbing uphill. And I do think that's something, that experience does translate locker room to locker room and is something that can be passed on to a rookie, even though he's only in his 4th or 5th season in the NFL anyway. So really like this comment from you, Mike G. I do think it's pretty thought-provoking, but it's not a major concern for me that he has a true lack of experience and success. I think that his adversity is what I would want the rookie to pull from more than anything. So, Alex, I'll let you give your brief take on this one as well as I get ready to pull up the film.
Yeah, I mean, look, Justin Fields is interesting, and the really number one reason I like Justin Fields is that he's only 25, right? Like he's, I think, younger than Daniel Jones, and he's been on multiple teams. He knows multiple offenses. He's extremely experienced. He was looking pretty solid for the Steelers before they ended up replacing him with Russell Wilson. He's exciting to watch at the very least. Justin Fields is a gunslinger, right? He's not gonna shy away from making mistakes. He's not gonna shy away from making, turning the ball over, and he'll make some big plays out of that, but he'll also make some big mistakes. So, you kind of take that with him. You take the volatile nature of his game, but he's a well-liked man. Like the Giants need guys that are well-liked in the locker room, guys that lay it all on the line, guys that go maximum effort all the time. Justin Fields is never not going to give you 100%. He's going to put his body on the line to win games. And I think that from a guy like Jaxson Dart's perspective, and I've watched some of him already, he's also like that. He's 100% effort. He's willing to run. He's willing to do whatever it takes. He can throw on the move. He's got pretty solid pocket presence. And he's pretty damn accurate. He's made some really impressive throws. So I'm excited to dive into this film and kind of get a chance to see bad and good, because I'm sure we'll see some bad and we'll highlight that. But this is how we get to know these players. This is how we get to see, okay, like we see all the hype and media attention and we love to talk about it. But now we can kind of spend the next 100 days really diving into every single player that we're looking forward to breaking down and seeing if they're really as good as the media is making them out to be.
No doubt. So let's waste no more time. Let's go ahead and dive into it. Going to do a couple things here. Change my camera. Hello. Now I'm over this way. And then go ahead, pull up the film over here. Doing it this way so that we can even draw on top of the film. I know in the past I've done live streams for you guys, and you really like when I draw on the screen, show you kind of what we're seeing in the play design. So giving us that option in this film breakdown as well. And really just without further ado, let's, again, like I said, waste no more time. I'm excited to dive into this, Alex, because I think that Jaxson Dart is a player who you really detailed well when diving into his stats and contextualizing them. He's ran a high-volume passing attack, which I think is important because a lot of rookie quarterbacks coming into the NFL, they don't run offenses that ask them to throw 40 times in a single game. But he has done that sometimes. He's the all-time career passing yard leader at Ole Miss, breaking Eli Manning's record. I know Giants fans are going to find that interesting and exciting. So let's see how he performed in this game against another really good school in Oklahoma. I'll go ahead and hit play on this film.
I'm excited. Let's go play action.
Yeah, me too. And I know earlier, Alex, you said, oh, we haven't watched any of this film yet. I watched the first half of this game.
Okay, I haven't seen any of this yet.
And I was like taken away from the first play of the game, just the way that he layered this pass over the inside linebacker. I mean,
Beautiful.
before the linebacker even has a chance to anticipate that this pass is coming, it's already out. And it's play action passing. Again, a lot of NFL teams run play action passing attacks. I mean, if you want to look at the Chargers and
Jalen Hurts. He's never had his first drop back ever this past weekend.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't want to overanalyze just the first play because we've got 8 minutes of film to go through here. But I did just want to highlight, especially from this wide angle, it's a quick play action pass. But the way that he drops it over the linebacker and hits this guy in stride, you see the anticipation. As soon as he breaks, there's two linebackers here, and he just drops it right over them. I thought this was a really nice touch pass. It's a tight window throw, and I thought that he threw it beautifully.
Yeah, and I like how his eyes were already up. Like as that play action is kind of in motion, his eyes were already looking where that linebacker is, if he can fit that ball in there. So, nice layering throw there. I think that's, so far, so good.
Yeah, let's move on to the second play. It'll all roll through. Another play action drop and quick three-step drop, get to the top of your drop, and then turn and burn. That's what you love to see from a young quarterback. So, it's a soft zone defense. It looks like it's a little bit of a coverage breakdown. Cornerback maybe not in his assignment. I actually think this would be a good play for me to draw on. I won't do it on this one just because it's so early on. But if you watch the top of the screen wide receiver, he's basically just running a clear out route. This is a really nice bench concept where the outside receiver runs straight, takes out that wide cornerback, and then creates an open layer and a pocket underneath. It's just up to the quarterback to read high to low, which he does, and he finds the open receiver. So a good throw there.
Yep. Easy enough. Good protection as well.
Yeah, it was.
A lot of play action so far.
Yeah, 3 plays, 3 play action passing attempts, which I like. I actually really like this play design too with that motion receiver getting the ball. I thought that was a good throw, just a drop.
Yep.
4 for 4 on play action. Yep. And this is one that I watched earlier that I think this looks like a good ball when you watch it at face value. Like he gives the receiver a chance, but I actually think that this could have been a better ball. And I know he's capable of better passes than this downfield because I think this ball, if you see the way that it's going, it's kind of coming in high here. I think this should have been lasered back shoulder. And I think this could have been an easy completion downfield. Yep.
I also think instead of making that throw, he could have checked that down and got an easy 15 yards out of it. There's nobody even there.
Yeah, for sure.
So, but I don't hate being aggressive and taking opportunities.
That's I don't mind it at all.
That's a nice throw to the numbers. You got to make these throws. I mean, he's far hash hitting this outside the numbers. That's a good throw. I mean, that's the kind of arm talent you want to see at the NFL level. These type of throws right there, like those quick outs. This is what makes the Rams offense so unique and so effective. Those type of throws.
Yeah, I will say I'll highlight it is far hash. You're right. It's a really good throw. I do think not that the ball comes out late. I think the ball comes out perfect timing. It's not necessarily the fastest ball. Like I think he's got a really good arm, but on terms of some of these like quick outs, I do think that if you want to compare him to like last year's draft class and some of those guys at the top, like a Drake May and a Caleb Williams, the ball gets there quicker. So I will just highlight that since we're trying to look at both the good and the bad, but that was a good throw. It was on time and in rhythm. And that's my number one thing with Dart. He's always on time. And I think that's really important.
Yeah. I also think the college fields are a little bigger. So factoring that in.
Wider hashes. Yeah.
Right. Let's see what he does here. That's a beautiful throw.
Yeah, I love this play because this is one where a less aggressive quarterback is going to take this underneath receiver. There's a natural pick. These two defensive backs run into each other, and this is all wide open space right here. A less aggressive quarterback is just going to hit this drag route. He keeps his eyes downfield, notices one-on-one, and he's got a deep crosser, that over route, and he throws a strike downfield. I love this throw right here from Jaxson Dart.
Yeah, this is nice. I mean, another really good pocket too. Like when he has a good pocket and he's standing there, he's deadly accurate so far. And he's getting through his reads too. You can see his eyes moving, and he sees that that route over the top too. He's not just settling for that. Like how many times have we seen Daniel Jones in the past settle for that underneath? Settle for the easy completion, settle for the high rate completion. He takes that shot downfield, and there's a lot of bodies in his way right here. Yeah. Like he needs to be able to see over these multiple defenders in his way, and he's leading him open right there. So a nice anticipatory throw to get beyond those multiple defenders right in front of him. So, the anticipation so far I like.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was about to highlight. You said it right there. There's two defenders, a third defender trailing. There's some traffic from his own receivers in front, and he looks over all of those guys, just knowing what the coverage is, knowing what the routes are, and anticipates that this route is going to break open and throws a strike. So I'm happy that you highlighted the anticipation and the vision to see past all of these defenders, see past all of this traffic and garbage in front of him, and throw it over top. So a really good throw here, a lot of anticipation, and it's perfectly in stride. It's a great ball. And again, I love that he was aggressive taking the over rather than the under route, reading high to low rather than low to high. I love quarterbacks that read high to low.
Yeah, that's another nice throw too, right over a defender. Let's see another play action, lots of play action. So this is definitely a one. He's stuck on that first read, but that's fine because he hits it anyway.
Yeah, I think this is more a situation of he knows that he has this read,
yeah,
based on the coverage that he saw pre-snap. Which again, important to realize that this young quarterback is reading this push snap, because you've got too high and you've got, honestly, it just looks like man coverage or a Tampa 2 zone. And with this route concept, that that's going to break open against either of those coverages.
Yep.
So,
I like it. He's very confident in his ability to make these throws too. I mean, he's got to get that over that first defender. Perfectly thrown.
Yeah, a lot of layering from his passes here so far. Not minding putting it over the top of defenders.
That's good arm talent, man. I mean, that's a good ball. He's got some zip on it. That's another nice ball. And he's doing it from a base, a nice little base too. He's not like, I mean, this is all arm. He's not really leaning into this throw. I mean, so far the arm is not a major concern for me. I mean, it's very early, but I'm seeing throws that, we see a lot worse throws in the NFL, to be quite honest.
We've seen Giants quarterbacks throw screen passes 10 yards over the receiver's head.
Yeah,
so
I've seen Zach Wilson bounce screen passes. So here you go. This is a nice example of him running. He's no problem putting his body on the line. He goes through all of his reads, sees the opening, and takes advantage. That's what and he's a good athlete, man. He can move. He's
a pretty good athlete. He's got some mobility. He's not, he's not Jalen Milroe in this class, but another quarterback in this class. I mean, but I like here because if you're watching this. This is a coverage sack if he doesn't make a play out of this. Like, everybody is covered across the board. You've got this linebacker over the middle who's taking this guy away. This guy's on that guy. This flat route, you're not going to get to that read in time. So he does the right thing. He notices, all right, this is zone defense just completely took away all my routes. I'm just going to go ahead and pick up some yards myself.
Yeah, we will take that. Good. I mean, definitely good processing. He gets through those reads really fast too. He's not like standing there. His eyes are moving pretty continuously. Another play action. Nice. It's nice. It's fine.
They really like these play designs. Yeah, these play designs are nice from Ole Miss.
Yeah, this is like the anti-Eagles playbook. Like, lots of play action. They're actually throwing it. Not like play action. They're running RPOs or quarterback run options most of the time. Yeah,
and smart decision here to protect his body and slide. But I do like the way this is on him now. He's on his first read. Ready? Then he gets to, it looks like a second read and maybe even a third read. And then he decides he's going to tuck and run it and just finds a little space and late slide, but that's totally fine.
Protects his body in
a fantastic quarterback kneel. I hope if he is drafted by the Giants, we see him do a lot of quarterback kneels. We don't see
I'm sure that'll kill my Jaxson Dart rushing bet one day. Let's see. Lots of motion too. In this offense,
a lot of motion, a lot of play action.
Nice.
Big fan of this offensive scheme, I have to say.
Yeah. I mean, this is the type of stuff that translates, though. This ball's out quick.
That's quick with some pressure coming from the backside. Like, this is, you've got to feel. You can see he shortens his release here.
Yep.
When he goes back to throw, I think he can tell. He hears the footsteps, and he kind of just quickly shortens that. You could see his back foot kind of lift up here as he kind of transfers his weight from back to front a little bit quicker, knowing that he might be getting hit and he's got to get this ball out quick. And again, layers it over two defenders to drop it in the bucket. So
yeah, the only thing I would say is maybe he had that deep shot, but I think the safety had it over top.
Let's take a look at it from the wide angle and see.
For a second, he may have had him open. No, I think that was that's the same one. Yeah, he had him covered. It looks like once again that
Well, see, I actually like that he's getting into his throwing motion right now,
Yes.
just as this receiver is coming out of the break. But again, we saw this earlier with one of the previous plays on this film. That outside receiver basically running a clear out. Just go, take that safety away, and open a cushion. And he's reading it, because you have to
Yep.
read that high to low. You have to read that outside receiver, see if
Yep.
he's taken over top, and then if he's not, if he is, then you come back down to that underneath guy. I love
That's a
these
good
route
read.
concepts from the Ole Miss offense, and yeah, it's a
Yeah.
good read by
That's a
Dart.
good read. Tim said it. He probably was looking to that high receiver first, and then he saw that corner was dropping deep, took that underneath option instead.
Yeah,
More play
exactly. So
action. Yeah, I was saying this is the same play. My bad.
yeah, it works out as a clear out route, and then late hit there. That was
More
130.
play action.
Yeah, play
Okay.
action. Play breaks down. Let's go ahead
Love
and pick
that.
up some yards
Love that.
ourselves
And he slides,
protect
man.
your body inside. Yep.
A freaking quarterback that slides. What a novel idea. How many times have we seen guys get like absolutely rocked? He
Yeah, one
protects
thing
his
that I'll
body
say,
like that.
one thing that I want to point out here is we're talking about how much we like this offense so far, this scheme. I think right now we're seeing him being forced to run because it's becoming a little bit redundant. They're only using one side of the field, and
Right.
Oklahoma's kind of figuring that out, seeing that one side of the field is being thrown to almost every play, and it's pretty much the outside guy running a clear out and then somebody running into that zone pocket each time. So looks like now they're sitting on it. Looks like now he's realizing, okay, they're sitting on it. Let me go ahead, pick up some yards on my legs. But let's see if the offense adjusts and how Jaxson Dart personally adjusts to Oklahoma, seemingly now figuring out this offense. I'm curious to see.
Especially that left tackle's getting beat pretty bad. They're getting pressure off the left side, maybe that left tackle specifically, but there's pressure coming off that left side. They're running some stunts, Oklahoma. So, this is interesting. They're starting to realize, and I think that's why, Anthony, they're probably running more to the right side because that way he can roll out because they're having some trouble off the left tackle side.
Looks that way. That tight end missed that block on that last one, but we saw the tackle get beat earlier. Also, I got to point out, excellent job here to save this play because this is a terrible snap that basically hits him in the kneecap.
Let's see. So just an athlete, man. Just a good athlete.
Yeah.
Nice little run. So they're running actual running plays for him.
Yeah, it's a designed run. It's an option. It's a pitch option. Now, he's got the option to flip it to the. But look at that. He caught it on his knee.
Is it bad? Yeah, that play is destroyed from the get-go. He just takes what he can.
Way to make something out of it.
Agreed. See, nice pocket. Clearing some time.
That's
beautiful.
That's a no pun intended or every pun intended dart.
I wonder. Go back a little bit. I mean, that's a gorgeous. That's absolutely beautiful, like pitch perfect. I wonder if he bailed a little too early on this pocket. I mean, I'm not going to complain because of the throw.
Yeah, I think you could make the argument, and they have a quarterback spy on him too.
Yeah,
so probably,
I'm not going to complain.
I'm not going to complain because he made a hell of a throw, but I'll also try and contextualize and see why he might have bailed on it. And I think it has to do with the reads because it looks like he's reading right to left here. He's reading this. He sees that, okay, that might get jumped or covered. So he doesn't really have a great route combo there. So he decides to pull it. Maybe receiver puts his arm up. He maybe could have given this guy a chance to make this throw. I think he probably comes off of that a little bit too quick. Now he's looking to 19 on the backside dig. That's covered by this linebacker. That's a really tough throw to make. And then this receiver doesn't really get open. So I think based on the fact that he went through 4 different reads, that's why he decided to bail in the pocket. When when you go through every read and they're all gone, now you got to just make something happen. But I will say I think he missed this read up top. This looks like a surefire touchdown.
Yeah, that looks like that's what I'm saying. He bailed a little too early on this pocket. He still, what I do like is that he still made a really nice throw in any case. And I like how this receiver ran a secondary route too.
Good coaching there from Ole Miss.
Nice.
I will say everybody looks well coached in this Ole Miss offense.
Yep.
But yeah, this is a gorgeous cross-body throw.
That's an NFL throw, man. Like that's the type of throw that you have on 3rd and long, and you're like, okay, like we got something there. Like you got to be able to make throws like this. Like how many times have we seen quarterbacks bail their teams out of bad situations? Extended drive was something like that. In today's NFL, that mobility, that quality, it's a non-negotiable. You know what I mean? Like it's non-negotiable to be able to make plays like this, in my opinion.
Yeah, and one other small detail that I want to highlight before we get on to this next play. When he starts to break out of this pocket, look at him tuck that ball. Tucks it safe while running, and then untucks it. Yeah, that's really smart attention to detail, protecting the football. So I like that. This is one of those pro throws that you mentioned, an out route from the far hash. Those are the throws that NFL scouts these are the exact throws. NFL scouts will ask one of their assistants, get me a cut up of every single far hash out route throw, and I want to watch every single one of them. And this is one. Not only does he fire it on time and accurately, also takes a little bit of a shellacking because this running back messes up the pass protection. So really good throw here.
So what I like is that he's able to operate an offense where the pass rush is getting to him pretty fast. Like there's people in his face. He's able to get rid of the ball pretty well, and he can get through his reads speedy enough. You know, like the Giants, and that's what we have to think about when you're talking about the Giants. Their offensive line is usually poor. So I do think that when you're thinking about evaluating quarterbacks, you have to consider how fast they're able to get rid of the ball, how fast they adjust to pressure, how fast they get through their reads and progressions. This is so important. And in this instance, he gets rid of this ball really fast and really accurately. And there's about to be a pass rusher hitting him in the face. So I do like that he can make these throws under duress.
Yeah, and I'll say he shortens his drop. He only takes a one-step drop rather than a 2 or 3 step, and he just gets it out. But if you see the way that he's throwing this ball, this is a very unorthodox throwing motion. And if you watch, his body kind of curls up here. That's a result of, okay, I need to shift my weight from my hip to the front of my body much quicker because I know that there's pressure coming. So we highlighted a play a couple drives ago where he shortened his arm slot and he got the ball out a little bit quicker knowing the pressure was coming. This is an example where you can see him just shift his entire body weight a whole lot quicker, get everything into this throw and get it out before getting hit, protecting his body and also making sure the throw comes out on time. And it's in stride, it's accurate. It's a pro throw. That's what they look for.
Yep.
That's a laser.
I mean, this is beautiful because he had a wide open screen option if he wanted to take it. And instead he took this riskier throw, anticipatory, right between two defenders. Like that's a really good throw, man. This is beautiful.
Yeah. This is another play where I'm going to highlight really nice Ole Miss play design because you've got this spread offense. It's 5 wide. You've got no running back in the backfield to help you in pass protection. And what they call here is a wide receiver fake screen. He can come back to the screen and throw it if he wants, but it's a fake screen. He's going to pump it and knowing that you're trying to get this linebacker to move. And the linebacker does move, bites down a little bit, creates an open zone. But this is not necessarily a wide open throw. No. We've seen quarterbacks pass these up. This is between two defenders. You have to put some mustard on this thing and get it into that window. And he sure as shit does. So it's a really good throw here from Jaxson Dart.
Yeah. I mean, that throw has to be perfect. You know, that you have no room for error on a throw like that. So, and he zips that thing in there. Like there's arm talent there. There's the capacity. And we actually, Anthony, haven't seen him throw any deep balls really in this game yet. And that's one of his best attributes. So, you know, this is an interesting game to watch because his bread and butter is the deep ball. And he has not thrown the deep ball at all so far. He's making layered throws. He's hitting outside hash throws. He's running lots of play action. He's run it a couple times. He's tearing this Oklahoma defense apart for the most part. You know, this is pretty good so far.
Yeah. Last thing that I'll highlight on this play, just because I'm trying to keep a keen eye on some of the negatives that we can highlight, I'll say his throwing mechanics here, I think were a little bit off. I think his lower body and his upper body weren't exactly married on this one. Didn't matter because he threw an absolute dime over the middle, but I will just highlight if you watch his hips here and the weight transfer from his hips, he's a little bit late and it causes a little bit of like a staggering up at the top of his throwing motion. So I think that's something, well, maybe it's because his right guard gets pushed up. So maybe he felt like he didn't have a full base to throw from, but still, I think, you know, just to highlight some nitpicky little details to keep an eye on, mechanics could have been a little bit cleaner in his lower body there, but doesn't matter because he throws an absolute dime for a touchdown.
Yep. I don't care about mechanics if you're a baller.
Well, I care about it a little.
Josh Allen abandons all mechanics all the time. So,
well, that's actually why I brought that up, because I was thinking of Josh Allen when I saw that play, because one thing with Josh Allen, you always watch his hips flip when he throws the ball. And I didn't see the hip flip on that last play from Dart. That's actually why Josh Allen is why I highlighted that. I watched this video earlier this week. It was like a 7-minute video of Josh Allen and one of these specialists that he meets with in the offseason. And all they work on is hip mobility and throwing with your hips. And it had a few drills in there that I'm actually going to put into practice for my flag football season as well. And it's something that I think if you watch NFL quarterbacks, watch the hips. And when they flip those hips, those are the most accurate quarterbacks. So I just want to highlight hips were a little bit off there. Josh Allen is the gold standard of using your hips in your throwing motion.
Generate
So it's
power
something
and
to
torque.
keep an eye on. Exactly.
All right, and more play action. Lots of it in this game. A little bit behind him. A little bit behind him.
Yeah, it was a fine ball though.
Yeah, we'll take it.
That's a little Mahomey, isn't it?
Let's see. Did he catch that? He caught that. I think he caught that. Yeah, I mean,
down to me though. I don't know.
Did he?
Yeah, he's. I don't know. It's close. And if anybody knows whether or not this was called a completion or a sack, let us know. It looks like he's down, but yeah, I don't love the decision to throw that. I don't love that.
Yeah,
don't love that decision.
I love the risky nature of his game though. Like, to be a great NFL quarterback, you have to kind of have some balls. You know what I mean? You kind of have to be a little risky and a little bit like looking for those something out of nothing plays. He sees an open receiver and he tries to get him the rock. Like, I can't, even if he was down, I can't blame him for something like that. I appreciate the fact that he's trying to make something happen as he's getting sacked, you know?
No, I do agree with you. I mean, I love to see a quarterback make something out of nothing. He does that on this play. The one thing that I'll say though is I think he should have just gotten to this read a lot quicker and thrown.
Yes.
I think he should read that there's, it's quarters coverage. It's clearly some form of cover 4. And as the play unfolds, you can see that all 4 of those guys are going deep. You know that you have nothing deep. Stop looking deep. Just get to your quick outlet route and throw it. Mm-hmm. So he's a little late on that one. Makes it harder on himself. Maybe completes something, but he could have gotten that ball out a lot quicker and given his receiver a lot of time to turn up field and make a play after the catch.
Honestly, I'd rather him have to learn how to get to that security blanket as the last piece to the puzzle instead of him being like only check downs, only safe throws, and then not have the home run ball to his game. It's the opposite for him in a lot of ways. Like, he's super aggressive, super downfield centric. And the last elements to his game that he's really going to have to round out is making sure he takes those easy throws, making sure he takes what the defense is giving him. I think you're on mute.
That's why I said earlier, I love a quarterback that reads high to low. A lot of quarterbacks, we look at Daniel Jones. I hate to bring him up. I don't want to play the comparison game, but we used to complain a lot that Daniel Jones would go low to high. He would read the guys in front of him. He would immediately just throw down to Wan'Dale Robinson. Meanwhile, you've got a neighbors running the dig route behind him that he never gets to because he reads low to high. I like that Dart's reading high to low. He's looking at his go balls. He's looking at his post routes. He's looking at his corners, and then he's coming back to his flats and his outs and all that stuff. So you're right. You'd rather have an aggressive quarterback that you need to rein in a little bit than a conservative quarterback that you need to push outside of their comfort zone. That's the way that I would treat that.
Yep. Let's see what we got here. Lots of motion in this offense. Another play action. Here's the deep ball.
That's a dime. That should have been
That's caught. A good ball. Let's see.
Yeah. It's actually not the best throw, and I'll highlight exactly why it wasn't. This is all footwork. Bad footwork, too.
Yeah.
So when he gets to the top of his drop, watch his heels clack. Your heels shouldn't touch. Heels should never touch when you're dropping back in the pocket. And then watch the lack of hip mobility here, Alex. This is exactly what I was talking about with Josh Allen. And the way Josh Allen flips his hips. You're seeing this quarterback in Dart. Hips are not turning with him. And he has to jump up because he's not generating enough momentum from his hips. It's all hip and lower body based. We know he's got the arm strength. We know his arm is strong. Get those hips married to that arm and move in one continuous motion. It's like golf. It's like tennis. It's like baseball. Your hips have to go with you. His hips don't go with him here. It ends up that he's kind of fading back and throwing this thing.
Yeah.
If he had his hips, we know he's got the arm strength for it. If his hips were in line with the rest of his body here, he would get a lot more on this thing. And there was an opportunity here, one-on-one coverage, no safety help over top against this cover 3 zone. You totally have an opportunity here to hit this throw. It's a home run ball. This could have been a big-time touchdown or at least big-time game. And this is a little bit of poor mechanics from his base causes this ball to kind of hang up there and then die in the middle of the field.
Yeah, it just doesn't get there. It just doesn't get to the boundary. In the NFL, that might have been a good throw because it probably would have been a little slimmer of a field. But yeah, like that he just short arms it a little bit by like a yard or two.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of quarterbacks make throws like this. From a mechanical standpoint, we've talked about Daniel Jones and his mechanics, right? And how those balls would kind of go up and then they would moonball and just drop right down. that's what you see on this play. So again, we've talked about his deep ball being a big plus. Let's see. This is one where probably not a plus. We saw one earlier that we did like. And I think, again, that's why this was a good game film that you selected, Alex, because it's a little bit of a mix.
Up and
So,
down.
yeah, so this is a throw. Jaxson Dart would be the first one to tell you wish he had back. He should have thrown a better ball there. But, I like the read, though. He noticed it was one-on-one, and he took a shot.
Mm-hmm. Again, he's getting out of the pocket.
Did you catch that? Wow, that's a great play.
Let's see it in this angle. On the move. See, he does this. That's freaking crazy. He does this thing where he takes off running, he tucks the ball, and then he untucks it and throws it. And I kind of love it. Like he's kind of got that ball a little tucked, and then he like recalibrates. He sees the guy downfield. I mean, look at his eyes. Like his eyes he's about to get, I mean, look at him. He looks like he just got hit by a car. And like he's like dead right there. I mean, he's about to get sacked, and he somehow has the audacity to get his eyes upfield and layer that pass over a trailing defensive back. And the running backs, or whoever that is not even turned around yet. That ball, he looks up and that ball is in his basket. Like that's freaking, I mean, that's the best play of this film so far for me.
That is fantastic. And I love you highlighting once again the fact that he is tucking that ball when he's escaping the pocket. All this traffic, 3 guys around him. Let's tuck that thing. Let's make sure that nobody pokes it out. And that's kind of what we see Baker Mayfield do a lot. Like Baker Mayfield is good at getting out of the pocket, making some plays while scrambling, but he's also really good at tucking that ball when he does that sometimes. And I think he just kind of gets low, gets tucked, and then throws it over the top. But this is a play. This throw is pure anticipation. At no point during this play, not even when he catches it, is this running back open at all. He is never open. However, Jaxson Dart sees that this linebacker or cornerback, whatever this is trailing. This guy has his back to the quarterback, meaning he's not going to see if I throw this ball over top. If I can just layer this thing over him and give my running back a chance, we might have a big play, and that's exactly what he does. So that's great anticipatory passing. And, dude, I mean, just what a play off script under pressure. That's what you're looking for out of your quarterback.
I'd also like to toss this in here too. His athleticism makes this play possible because he's got two pass rushers about to take him down and a guy behind him he can't see, right? So he's got to have the speed and awareness to escape those 2 guys by enough time just to make this play. Like a slower quarterback is sacked. Like there's no way he's getting out of that. A Jared Goff, no shot he's getting out of that. You know what I mean? So the ability for him to escape that pocket by himself, just that extra bit of time. He's a sneaky good athlete. Like I'm seeing in the comments right now. That data gives him the even chance to make a play like this. This is a play that we've seen from Josh Allen multiple times. Other quarterbacks too. So, this is one of those plays that you can make something out of nothing. We have not had a quarterback with the Giants be able to make a play like this in a long time. Maybe before Eli, because I never saw Eli make a play like this, but obviously totally different style of quarterback. But I love the fact that he has this sneaky athleticism to do things like that. And that's something that gives him a huge plus in my book.
Totally agreed. This is definitely one of his biggest positives and strengths. But one last thing before we move on from this play that I want to highlight. Look at his drop and how slow and patient it is. And look at how he waits. He tries to stay in this pocket. He wants to be a pocket passer. It's not until this pocket clearly breaks down that he then bails on it and has the wherewithal to feel the pressure and know his navigation route out of the pocket. So that's a really impressive play. He's calm, cool, collected. He wants to throw from the pocket. Only when he has to get out of the pocket does he.
Right.
And he's able to make something out of it. So
he probably could have hit the crosser earlier, if we're being honest. But I'm not going to, again, nitpick on a really good play. Like, he had him open there. He could have hit him there. I think he just felt the pressure and reacted. But probably could have got this ball out a little bit faster.
Like right here. I could say top of your drop, you could, turn that thing loose. But hey, ends up being a bigger play because he he held on to and made something out of it. So
he felt the pressure. He's very reactive to pressure. When you watch Cam Ward, it's a lot different. Like, he will stand there in that pressure and navigate the pocket internally, and he'll bail out of it for sure. But he's a little bit different to Cam Ward. Like, Cam Ward will stand there and find time and stay in the pocket. Jaxson Dart seems to want to bail a little bit faster sometimes. But this is a nice little zip. That's a nice little zipper.
This is an excellent throw, and I had to replay it a couple times there just to watch. You'll see the hips a lot better in this one. The way that they flip forward and that ball just kind of whizzes out. Again, right at the top of his drop, his timing is perfect. He gets to that final step, and he then is just ready to throw it. This linebacker right over here, you have to keep an eye on this because if you lead this crossing route that's coming over the middle of the field, if you read this here, you're throwing it right to that linebacker. He actually leads it behind. He puts it behind the tight end here to make it a catchable ball. Really good throw. And again, the arm strength on this one was pretty impressive.
Yep. That has to be that. He's got to zip that in there. Otherwise, he's taking that 6 the other direction.
Yeah, it's great anticipation. I mean, if you lead him, if you don't see this linebacker, it's pick 6. So, if you throw it behind this tight end, okay, now you've shielded his body away from that linebacker. He's able to make a guy miss and then fall forward for an extra 3 yards.
I'd love to see him with a little Theo Johnson. That's what oh, here's a deep ball.
It's a dime.
That's an absolute dime. Yeah, that's a great throw. See, that's a better throw. He has a lot more weight behind his hips there. He's not jumping like he did in the first one. Like he did a little hop step when he did that. This one, he actually leans into it. And you can see how controlled he is when he throws that too. It's not like a laser beam, but you can tell he has a lot of control on where that ball's going to land.
Yeah.
I like
and
that.
It's another messy pocket. Like it's collapsing almost every play, and he's just hanging in there and throwing it. You're seeing it start to collapse while this ball is coming out, and he doesn't care. I mean, that's a tight space, a box that he's throwing from within. And so, I mean, listen, I think the mechanics could be a little bit better here, I will say. But you're right. Like he's leaned more into this one as well. Actually, that's a really strong base.
I was going to say that's a good throw. I like that. And this is a good ball too, because it's in between 2 defenders there. There's only one place where that ball can be. He can't underthrow that. He's got to throw that in the right spot. That's a nice route.
Great route, double move. And this is the exact route, exact same way that we saw Malik Neighbors run this versus the Dallas Cowboys. Yep. It's sluggo. You fake the slant, you get the corner bite, and then you just bang it over top. Exactly. Daniel Jones launched that thing in there. It touched the moon and then came down and landed in Malik Neighbors' hands.
Buzz Aldrin probably kissed goodbye. Ridiculous.
Yeah, this was a good one. And I think, again, this is some sort of just like a palms coverage where you've just got.
I literally think they copied this play.
Back.
Almost. Yeah. It's almost identical.
Yeah. One last thing I'll say, because it builds on something you said earlier, talking about these far hashes in college football. This is right hash to left side of the field. Again, arm strength more than adequate. If you're making the throw from the right college hash all the way to the left pylon, this is, they're at the 35-yard line of scrimmage. He throws it from about the 40. But taking into account the fact that he's on the right hash, this is about a 60-yard pass right on a rope.
This is a beautiful throw, and it's perfectly executed, perfectly placed. So that's the first really great deep ball that we've seen from him in this game. Like that safety there, like that's got to be on time. That ball's got to be pitch perfect. Otherwise, you're in trouble.
If that thing hangs up, that's a pick.
That's a pick. Another possible pick 6. But again, great throw. We love that. More play action.
That one he underthrows a little bit. Yep, that's a catch, but it's a good throw, but it's a little bit underthrown.
That's a good throw, man. I'll take that. That's a good throw. That's right on his head.
It's a good throw, but there's no safety help. You should lay that out there from the run.
He could definitely lay it out there. But yeah, it's right at him. It's not in front of him. So yeah, I'll definitely say that could be a house call.
Yeah, I agree. But nevertheless, explosive throw, big time throw downfield.
Yep.
This one's to the near sideline from close hash, but I do really like how quickly he just transitions from top of his drop to just throw. He just gets there really quick.
Really quick.
Again,
I like that.
Again, though, he's never, for most of these throws that we've seen him make, he doesn't have much space in front of him. There's always a guard getting walked into his lap. Like he doesn't have a lot of space to operate from, but he's still standing in there making the throws.
Yeah, so that ball sails a little bit outside for sure. I'm not going to complain.
Quick screen. This is the play design more than it is him. So
I just want to see where the ball was located. Yeah, that was just a good play by the DB.
Yeah. It's probably more bad blocking, I would assume. I've seen a lot of bad blocking from Ole Miss in this one. Yeah, it's just a terrible play by that tight end.
Horrible block. Yeah, that's just a bad.
Just completely whiffs.
Bad deal. Okay, let's see. The ball comes out quick, though. Everything looks fine from my perspective, at least.
Yeah, I agree.
Nice. That's a good play design. That's a little cheefy, actually. That's a little cheefy.
Yep. Cheefy.
A little cheefy.
Little cheapy. Yeah, no, I love these little throwback plays where you have the quarterback roll one way with a guard as well, really, really pulls the defense, and then you just have the tight end slip right through the offensive line. And I really like these kind of play designs.
Yeah, easy
You know,
yards.
yeah,
They're
well
just
executed.
creative. Just get creative. Like the Giants sometimes are a little boring.
All right, hit as
Okay.
he's thrown there.
Again, his left tackle's getting absolutely worked in this game.
Well, he took a big hit there too.
He almost gets that off too. He gets through all of his reads before. So like that's what I like at least. Like he's getting through those reads fast. His left tackle just got completely bodied. Like what are you gonna do?
Do like the play design, but yeah, I mean that's just that's an
Like,
Evan
look where
Neal
his
route
eyes
right
are by
there.
the time he sees the open receiver. He does a little tap, and that little split second may have ruined his ability to get that ball out quick. He's just got to get that ball out.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's looking to the flat defenders on his tight end that came in motion. So now it's okay. Let's work back across the middle. I can't tell if he's going to 86 here to check down. It kind of looks. We'll see from the second angle. I think he might be looking deep to 3, and he just gets hit so hard that the ball doesn't get there because 3 is open, and this is a great read. And again, a high read to low read quarterback. So we'll see it from the other angle. But if you look, like
maybe you're right,
where his eyes are, I think he's looking to throw this touchdown ball. He looks like
he's corking that thing back. He's got, because if he's going 86, he just has to flip that thing out. He doesn't even need to really generate much power. I think you're right.
He's looking at 3. I think he's going for the home run.
I freaking love that though. Like I freaking love that he's like he has an open guy underneath, but he sees the open guy over top, and he's like, he's automatically going high to low, even on his third progression, which is definitely a Dable staple, if you could say.
Dable staple. I like that. This next play, I'm going to say, I think the pressure's starting to get to him. I think he gets this ball out too quick, and I don't think he reads his progressions here at all because he should notice that there's an alert. This cornerback bails. It's a cornerback blitz, and when you see the cornerback blitz, you want to throw it to the wide receiver that's blitzing or that has his cover man blitzing. He doesn't recognize that. Instead, he throws this ball basically into the blitz. Meanwhile, that receiver is pretty much open on this backside dig. So that's where that ball should have gone.
Yeah. I wish that was an option to go outside, but he could have hit him either way. Yeah, he took the safe route there.
Yeah, I think it actually ended up being a little bit more risky. I think he just misread the coverage.
Yeah.
This ball should go into this window right here. This window is
definitely open. Yeah. There's going to be some negatives. That's fine. I don't mind playing it safe, seeing a blitz coming, but he had time. He sometimes has like room in the pocket to work with, and he doesn't take it sometimes,
So yeah, my take on this is that he didn't read this blitz. He's feeling pressure and he's getting a little bit paranoid, and he's speeding up his internal clock because he's been taking these hits, like that last play that we just saw where the left tackle completely failed him. He took that hit. So now I think on this one, he's speeding it up a little bit too fast. Mm-hmm. He should be able to read and recognize that cornerback blitzes and then throw it to that receiver. Instead, he doesn't even see the blitz coming, and he throws the ball into where the blitzer went because he never saw it, because he's trying to get the ball out quicker because he's been taking hits. But I think this was a clean pocket. He could have held this ball for another second. He's got space in that pocket. If he holds this, he would see this receiver coming over the middle.
He could have stepped up a little bit. There's been a couple occasions where I've seen there's been some time and some pocket. He could move into a little bit more space, and he's not taking the space. That might be something I would like want him to do at the next level and really work on, is just step up into that pocket and make that throw across the middle. Instead, he tries to you're right. Like he just tries to bail out of this play because he gets scared, and you can see he gets a little jittery. So if he steps up and this is why we like Cam Ward so much, though. This play, Cam Ward is stepping up into this pocket and lasering it across the middle every time. That's why Cam Ward is number 1 for us in this draft.
That's true. Yeah, this is a clean pocket. Like you step up here, you take one hitch, and then you throw this thing to this backside dig that's not on the screen right now, but will be. Instead, again, he didn't even know that cornerback blitzed. So he looks and he tries to hot read this thing, and he's like, oh shit, that cornerback is there. So then he has to double pump it and then throw it. And it's just a bad ball. But again, it's because he rushed it. He didn't trust the play. He didn't trust his offensive line. So
yeah, not everything's gonna be perfect. That happens. But he's made a lot of nice throws over the middle in this game.
Yeah, he has, and it's very important that a quarterback can throw over the middle. So
yeah, I'll take this play though. There's pressure from all over the place, and this is an instance where he takes the space that we're talking about.
Watch this pass rusher just spin cycle this left tackle.
Dude, whoever his left tackle is, I don't know where they found this at the Dollar Tree store. Like, what the hell is this guy doing out there?
Well, he should be prepared to play for the Giants offensive line.
Yeah, he's our backup next year, probably.
Yeah, right. God, so now the Giants are going to draft that kid. Oh, yeah.
Dude's hands are horrible. Let's see.
Look, he's looking to throw. He's not bailing. He's trying to find an open receiver downfield. Even here, he has the chance to run, and he tries to stop and throw, and he just can't find anyone. So
I like how he uses that pump, though, to clear out that space at the very least. Yeah. Man, he's getting so much pressure on him.
Yeah, so I'll say on this play, yeah, a lot of pressure here. This ball falls incomplete. He only throws this ball, though, with hope and anticipation, and I like that. He knows that he knows the play design, he knows the call, and he knows that there's a rub route. It's mesh concept. So you've got one drag and you've got another drag, and the idea is that they're going to mesh over the top of each other, and one cornerback is going to run into the other and free up an open receiver. So he reads that. He notices, okay, we've got the mesh concept. He's under pressure. He knows that he's about to get hit. He's just going to lay it out there, hoping that this dragging receiver will get there in time. It's an anticipatory throw, which I like. It falls incomplete, but again, trying to look at the process behind the throw, this is good process from Dart.
Yeah. He's got to hold. His left tackle's holding like crazy too. They didn't call it.
Yeah. Also, I don't really understand why this tight end just gave up. Just run through that fucking cornerback, dude.
Just a mesh concept that just completely didn't work.
Yeah, it didn't work. But again, good process to know. All right, this is where the route's going. Let me put it out there.
Yeah, just get it out.
Yep.
Nice little option. I think you should have got rid of that.
I don't like that one. Looks like it's a design quarterback run, fake pitch, run up the middle, which I don't like. Let's not run up the middle with this offensive line and your quarterback.
Yeah, their play calling in the second half has been weird so far. It was so good in the first half, and then the second half they just kind of.
I think they were overcompensating for the poor offensive line play.
Yeah, their left tackle being a cheddar. All right, that's not bad.
Good throw on a quick slant.
Yep. That's not bad.
Not bad.
Take some free yards. Another run at the middle. What is it? What, like, just pitch it, dude. There's nobody out there.
I think one thing we're missing, though, is context. Alex, do you know if they won this game or not? Are they playing from behind, or are they playing with a lead and trying to sit on the lead right here? That might be what we need to know.
That's a good question. Let me look it up. So they won 26-14. This game.
Okay, so they're sitting.
They were winning.
That explains these tricky little, runs. He's just basically sitting down and making sure that they run out the clock.
Yeah. Yeah, they're just trying to get time off the clock, which is still like, why are you putting your quarterback in harm's way though? Just run the freaking ball.
Just hands it to your running back.
Yeah, like fake pitches and stuff. Like, what is this, Madden?
Yeah, another good route concept though here. A good play design.
Yep.
Just get that.
I think that was third and long.
Flat, wide open.
Felt like a third and long play.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. I mean, that's it.
That's the film.
That's the film. All right. Well,
let's go back in the back and discuss. Or no?
Okay. Yeah, we can.
Let's go back. Let's go back. What do you want to do?
Let's go back. All right, we're back. So, to wrap up this film breakdown, I think generally you watch a full game. Of course, there's many games to watch, but from this general stuff, it's a mixed bag in my opinion. I like the upside from Jaxson Dart a lot. He has a good arm. He can make the throws. He's got sneaky good athleticism. He can put zip on his passes, his deep balls. We saw that one that was a little off, but for the most part, he's got a pretty good amount of upside on that deep ball. He can operate an offense at a pretty good level. I think that what I'm most concerned about is sometimes he bails from the pocket, or sometimes he rushes his decision making, and there's time, there's space in the pocket, and I feel like he doesn't take it all the time. So we see that with Cam Ward, where he is so patient, and even when there's mayhem around him, it's controlled chaos. Like, he's able to step up, control the space around him, and leverage it. And like, that's why we love Cam Ward. I think that Jaxson Dart is a second-round pick in my eyes. After watching just that game, I do see him as a second-round pick, a high second-round pick, but he's got to sit. Like, he's got to sit and learn for a good portion of a season. I think that you put a Justin Fields in front of him, a Jameis Winston, a Kirk Cousins, whatever, a one and done type of player. Russell Wilson even might be a good option. He's a guy in Jaxson Dart that I could see benefiting tremendously from a really solid veteran mentor who has a similar play style. Russell Wilson actually makes a lot of sense for a guy like this. If you're looking for a pure mentor for a young player, Russ, sneaky good athlete, really good deep ball thrower, very good zip on his passes. I know he's kind of washed at this point, but like just in terms of what he can do, what he was able to do, I think Jaxson Dart is a high second round pick. If you wanted the 5th year option, you could trade up to the back end of the first to get him. This is just my evaluation after one game. Like that's very, very, very baseline, very, very loose kind of review. I like the upside. I just think there's work to be done for sure at the next level.
I agree with you. I want to answer this chat real quick. Ramwan's asking us what makes Dart better than Sanders and Ward. By no means are we doing this film breakdown to argue that Jaxson Dart is QB1. We just want to look at all of them. We're going to do a Ward breakdown. We're going to do a Sanders breakdown. We're going to do all of it. We're just going to go through and look at all of these quarterbacks as you guys have been requesting. So just for clarification's sake, we are not arguing Jaxson Dart QB1 here. We are just simply trying to take an objective look at this one game that he played against Oklahoma and give our take on it and tell you what our takeaways are. So I will say this. Let's go strengths and weaknesses. Weaknesses, I think sometimes his footwork in the pocket could be a little bit, he needs to clean that up a little bit. He needs to get a little bit of better rhythm from his lower half mechanics to his upper half mechanics. Strength, I think his timing is good. He usually takes his 3-step drop and then fires. He does have good timing. Another potential weakness, somebody made this comment, and I don't know where it is, but they mentioned, here it is, from Greg Turdhaller. Unbelievable name. But Greg,
nice.
He says system quarterback Lane Kiffin can make any quarterback look all world. Now, you do make a great point. I'm not saying that Jaxson Dart is a system quarterback. I wouldn't go that far because I think he's got a lot of really good traits. However, you are making a good point. Lane Kiffin, great coach. The play calling was immaculate when we looked at this game. The play designs were very easy for quarterbacks to digest and make these throws. So all that is true. So maybe there is a little bit more digging to do into Dart's film, taking a look and seeing how much of it is the system and how much of it is his talent. But again, going back to the strengths, I think he reads the field well. I think he's got good timing and processing. He does throw with anticipation. It's not otherworldly anticipation. It's not necessarily first round top 10 pick anticipation, but there are anticipatory throws on his film, and he is accurate, and he does have good timing. Those are all the strengths that you need to have a quarterback with a good baseline to develop. So if we're talking about him as being not a top 10 pick, but an early second round pick and a guy who needs to develop, I think he has all of the tools and traits that you want in someone to develop. Again, it's going to be about who drafts him, what their playmakers look like, who's coaching him. All those things matter for every quarterback, but especially for a guy like coming from a Lane Kiffin system, as you mentioned, and Jaxson Dart. But he is somebody who really impressed me on this film. There were a couple of wow plays in there, and just generally speaking, I thought he handled the down-to-down pressure and reads and progressions very well.
Yeah, I mean, just to kind of summarize, he's like, I don't know, I kind of get the sense that he's got that gunslinger trait mentality to him. And I love that. I love gunslingers because that's what you need to be in the NFL these days. You have to be a gunslinger. The athletic profile is good. Like I said, 69.2% completion percentage last year. That's excellent. Like he's a high percentage thrower. Like if it's scheme related, what I will say, Anthony, is that system, that offense looked very similar to the one Dable wanted to run this year. A lot of similar concepts, maybe a lot more play action in that game specifically. But I do think that Dable would run a similar offense, take shots downfield, lots of quick out options as well, lots of security blankets, but also being explosive. He wants to have consistent quarterback play. That's what they said, consistent. I think my personal opinion is that Dart is closer to Sanders than Sanders is to Cam Ward. That is my personal opinion. Because I think that Cam Ward has a sense to him, a sixth sense to him that you just can't teach. I think Dart has a lot of great traits. Sanders also has a lot of great traits, but I think there's a floor that, there's a ceiling that I don't think either of them even get close to with that Cam Ward has. Cam Ward has a ceiling that the guy's just got another element to him, a character trait that you can't teach. So I think Jaxson Dart's a very solid prospect, and I'm curious to see if he goes to he's the type of guy that needs the right system and the right procedures and process to become, that where he reaches his peak. for lack of a better word. Like where he can reach his potential, he's got to be in the right system. The Giants are in an interesting spot because they need a quarterback who's going to help them win kind of soon. And I don't think that Sanders steps in and helps them win a ton of games soon. And I don't think Dart is either. I think Cam Ward's the only guy in this draft that could really get them there. But that's why you're probably talking about a bridge mixed with a rookie. And I know, Greg Turdholler, that is a very hot take. But I'm not as big on Sanders as a lot of people are. I think that he doesn't have any elite traits. He's a high percentage guy. He's coming from a bad division. He has a Heisman winning receiver, LeJontay Wester, who I absolutely love, is one of the most underrated receivers in college football, in my opinion. I think he's going to go much higher in the draft than people think he will. He's a really shifty slot man. Came from Auburn. I think that if you're, the Giants, Sanders is not going to win you a Super Bowl, but he will make you he'll keep you in purgatory where he's good enough to win you some games, but he's not good enough to make you a legitimate playoff contender. That's how I see his upside. Again, that could be totally wrong. I'm not a freaking magician. So
your mind could change. Your opinion could change.
My opinion could change. It's been pretty consistent though, in so far. I mean, I've been pretty consistent with the fact that I don't think Sanders' upside is that great. I think he's very much a media darling in this year's draft. And a lot of analysts seem to be very on board with that exact opinion. A lot of analysts, the way you hear them speak about him, they don't necessarily think he's a top 5, top 10 pick. And I don't think he is either. I think he's a 10 to 20 range guy in this draft class. Last year, he might not even be QB6 in last year's draft class. So that's just kind of how I see it. And that's why I'm talking about Jaxson Dart as a 2nd round pick. I'm not talking about him as a 3rd overall pick. I see Sanders closer to a 2nd round pick in this year's draft, or in any draft really, than closer to a top 3 pick. That's just my personal opinion. But with that being said, I could be totally freaking wrong. I could be an absolute idiot. So who knows? Could
be, to be determined. But no, you are right. Like we were talking about it earlier today, you and I, and I'll share it with, the viewers. Daniel Jeremiah is maybe my favorite NFL draft analyst. He's been doing it forever. He's worked in several NFL front offices, and now obviously he's been with NFL Network for a while. Guy is super plugged in, talks to scouts all across the league, and is also a great talent evaluator in his own right. Daniel Jeremiah did not give a glowing review of Shedeur Sanders on the Rich Eisen show this morning. And I've listened to the Rich Eisen show religiously, and I also follow everything Daniel Jeremiah has to say about every prospect every year. He didn't necessarily talk badly about Shedeur Sanders, but it wasn't this glowing review like, oh, this is a surefire top 5 pick. It was more so in line with Alex, where, hey, in most classes, this guy's a 2nd, 3rd round guy. That's kind of what it seemed like Daniel Jeremiah was indicating he feels about Sanders. So listen, there's a lot of work to be done on these quarterbacks, though, Alex. We've got a lot to discuss when it comes to Dart some more, when it comes to Cam Ward, and when it comes to Shedeur Sanders. So maybe we bite the bullet in the next one, Alex. I make you sit down and watch the All-22 on Shedeur Sanders with me.
I would love that.
That might have to be.
No, yeah, I would freaking love that because I've sat there and watched a lot of Shedeur Sanders already just by myself, glass of wine in hand. I'm watching Shedeur Sanders on a Tuesday night. That's where we're at as Giants fans. But I'll tell you what, I think that's a great idea. I would love to watch him in that because he had a bad offensive line and he operated well and had a high completion percentage behind a really bad offensive line, but he went up against really bad opponents and he had Travis Hunter, and Travis Hunter had 1,500 yards this past season. I'm actually more so excited to watch LeJontay Wester on Shedeur Sanders' film than I am of anything else. So, and also Hunter as well, because I think that he's very much in play for us, 3rd overall. So we get to actually kill 3 birds. We get to get 3 birds stoned at once with watching Shedeur Sanders film. So I am excited. We can do that on the next one. I definitely am looking forward to that.
Yeah, as am I, and I know many of you are as well. We had a lot of people in the chat on this one, and a lot of really good comments in the comment section. A little hard for us to interact with the chat a ton while we're breaking down the film, but I saw, Alex, you were commenting back and forth with a few people. And we appreciate everybody tuning in. And closing thoughts, I guess, are going to be, listen, I still am high on Dart. I like Jaxson Dart. I think that he is a good thrower of the football. He's got plus athleticism. He ran a pro style, very great play designed offense. I really like the way that he plays, and I'm looking forward to watching him even more. And if he is the pick in the second round, I will be happy. If they trade up into the back end of the first round and they take Jaxson Dart to get that 5th-year option, I probably still will be happy. I'll actually probably be even happier because we got the 5th-year option on that contract. So I do think he's a worthwhile prospect. I don't think that he's a guy that, has no chance of becoming a starter. I'm not necessarily saying that I see this kind of elite potential, like he's going to be a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. I mean, you never really know. However, I think at the very least, he could be an above average quality starter that can win you games and get you to the playoffs. And the Giants need to at least find a quarterback that can do that because they haven't had that. So I like Jaxson Dart. I'm totally willing to take a chance on him as our second selection in the draft. And again, just looking forward to watching more of him and all of the rest of these guys live on Fireside Giants with you all. So Alex, any closing thoughts for the live stream chat?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'd rather take Dart in the second than Sanders at 3. That's my personal opinion. I think Jaxson Dart has a lot of really good traits. He's a very sneaky good athlete. He made some excellent throws in that Oklahoma game. Excellent. Like jaw-dropping, on the run, about to get sacked, just layered, gorgeous throws. So what I like the most about him is that no play is over until it's actually dead. Like every play, there's still a chance he's going to do something ridiculous. And that's why we love Cam Ward. Cam Ward does it more frequently. And he's got that confidence about him, that aura that you just can't find. But Dart, like he's a sneaky good prospect. He's a riser. Like he's a guy that I could see being a back end first round pick this year. For a team looking to take a shot on a guy with some really solid traits. And he's got a really nice deep ball, really high percentage passer as well. And for the NFL, teams that are going to be throwing the ball a lot, it's kind of funny though, because like, I don't want to go on a whole other tangent, but I'll leave you with this. A lot of really good teams now are establishing, like the run game is becoming important again. You know what I mean? Like the last couple of years, 2 years or so, the running game has become a focal point for teams, with Jahmyr Gibbs and, of course, the David Montgomery combination. You look at Kyron Williams and what he does for the Rams offense. You look at Derrick Henry and Lamar. Even James Cook is a key component of that Bills offense. So, looking at how offenses are going, that running game, it's important, man. And I'm happy we have Tyrone Tracy right now because he's going to be a key piece to that equation. But Jaxson Dart, lots of play action. I mean, think about what that does for guys like Tracy, especially if he gets better as a receiver. He had a lot of drops this year, but if his receiving qualities come back into full kind of focus, there's a lot to like about an offense with the Jaxson Dart, Tracy, Malik Neighbors combination. Not to mention, we're talking about Dart in the second round, so you still have Travis Hunter in this equation as well. So lots of really cool upside. And to be fair, if you got Travis Hunter third overall, and you have him at cornerback, and he's having some packages on offense as well, and then you get Dart in the second, you could still go out and get my boy LeJounte Wester in the third. And you could have a really, really, you just basically draft the whole freaking receiver core from Colorado. And you're in a pretty good shape there, man. Like, we're going to do that film breakdown of Sanders. I'm excited to see what guys kind of shine on that film.
Yeah, me too. Very excited. Maybe we'll do that later this week, early next week at the bare minimum. So, and again, we've got a long time between now and April. We've got a lot of film breakdowns coming, a lot of content. Some of them will be live. Some of them won't be live. Some of them will be more of those cut-ups where I do the drawing. Didn't do the drawing on the screen in this one. I didn't think need to. I didn't feel like it was fully necessary on this film breakdown. But again, in future ones, we'll draw on the screen. We'll do the play designs for you guys, highlight who to keep an eye on and all that stuff because I know you really like it. But yeah, just plenty of NFL draft content coming. We love our New York Giants. We're miserable about how bad they are, but we know that there is a chance where if they get this draft right, considering how right they got the last one, they absolutely could get back to the top pretty quickly if they nail that quarterback position. And that's going to be priority number one for Joe Schoen, not Ryan Cowden, but the rest of Joe Schoen's company as well. Ryan Cowden leaving to head to New England, but we'll see how it goes. It's going to be a lot of fun. Again, thank you all for tuning in, and we'll catch you on the next one. Have a good one, and let's go Giants.